On Shelby this week, protect yourself from real estate fraud. Find out about the new campaign being launched by Macomb County officials to do just that. And on the job, we've got information on opportunities in Shelby Township and a major company expanding in our area. And we'll also tell you why the county clerk added new jobs to keep up with the demand in CPLs and how local businesses are feeling the impact. It's all to come on this edition of Shelby This Week. Hello and welcome to Shelby This Week. We're covering news from around Shelby Township and all over Macomb County. We've told you about the Reconstruction project that will happen along Hall Road starting next March, but now you have an opportunity to be involved in the conversation. The Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce is hosting a town hall meeting for anyone interested in the reconstruction, which will go from Delco Boulevard just east of M53 to Hayes Road. The scope of the project will include pavement reconstruction, handicap ramps, sidewalks, and landscaping, and crews will work around the clock to get it all done. The town hall meeting will feature a presentation by MDOT about the project. It will be on April 25th at 10 a.m. at the UHY building on Hall Road. If you'd like to reserve a spot at the meeting, which is suggested, head to our Shelby TV Facebook page for more information. For anyone looking for a full-time job, Shelby Township is accepting applications for a meter reader. This job would require you to get water meter readings and assist with maintenance duties, and it pays $33,000 to $39,000. Qualified candidates must provide a high school diploma or GED or proof of your highest level of education, and you must have a valid driver's license. So here's how you apply. Just head to the Shelby Township website and scroll down to the Career button. Click General Employment at the Charter Township of Shelby, and the job application along with other opportunities and internships are right there. Deadline for the meter reader position is April 18th. Kroger is making a big investment into the state of Michigan by adding more stores and rehabbing the old ones, and one of those additions is coming to Shelby Township. The company is investing $180 million in creating more than 1,000 new jobs. This comes in the form of 3 new marketplace stores, 6 new fuel centers, 11 remodels, and 22 new click list sites. That's where you can pick up your online order without getting out of your car. One of those new locations will be in Shelby Township at 26 Mile and Van Dyke, which construction has already started on. Marketplace is a supermarket plus concept, so that includes selling home goods, small appliances, office items, and toys. Last December, Michigan changed the way concealed pistol licenses are issued, causing the number of CPL applications to increase. And now local gun shops are feeling the demand. Charlie Godotto explains what's behind the big increase and what it means for the current and future CPL holders.
Now serving S332.
Lately, the Macomb County Clerk's office has been busy.
I think it has a lot to do with what's happening in our country.
Yes, it is election season, and there's a lot to prepare for, but that's not what's keeping these employees occupied. It's CPL applications, more and more people wanting to carry a gun.
It's more than doubled, it's like tripled.
CPL. The numbers are up statewide. More than 500,000 people in Michigan have a CPL, and the number of new applicants is rising. In Macomb County,
we have on an average about 115 to 130.
And that's per day. Just ask Lee Sloan, the sales manager at Randy's Guns and Ammo in Shelby Township. Lately, he's been selling tons of guns.
Well, you get an average slow day where you only get, maybe 4 or 5 people. Then you get a busy day where you've got 50 people. Manufacturers just can't keep up with the demand right now.
Officials say the increase could be a result of a Michigan law which took effect December 1st. In the past, a county board would review applications and decide whether to approve or reject them. But now?
And the decision for the license is strictly made based on the background check, which is done by the Michigan State Police.
Lee says many of his customers have been worried about their safety.
I think the whole country is worried. A lot of people feel like their family and their lives are threatened way before the police ever even show up.
And talk about the potential for increased gun control. That has some people worried.
They probably think that they're going to take away their right to have guns.
But the numbers show a non-traditional crowd now looking to carry.
A lot of business people, a lot of women, and a lot of older women. People that wouldn't own guns 10 years ago, that's totally changed. Now just about every household has a gun in it.
Officials from Michigan State Police say numbers are likely to increase in the coming months. Reporting for Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadato.
The FBI says Michigan is one of the top states where real estate fraud occurs. So the Macomb County Treasurer and County Clerk are teaming up to do something about it. Derek Miller and Clerk Carmela Saba are launching a joint anti-fraud campaign, which is meant to make real estate transactions safer.
There is a lot of fraud that is going on with property, especially with the older community when they have their property paid off. You know, their property is paid off, so there definitely there are people out there looking to scam someone. And we have presented this to the FBI, and they're in support of it, and they actually can look at our system, which we're very proud in Macomb County to be doing this.
The new program will create an automated notice that is mailed out to the property owners anytime a new deed, mortgage, or other document is filed with the County Register of Deeds. Macomb County also sends out an email alert, but that requires a homeowner to sign up beforehand. Now customers will have those protection notices sent by U.S. mail automatically. So whenever a new document is filed, Macomb County residents can feel protected from real estate fraud. Packing lists usually consist of a toothbrush, a bathing suit, a passport, but there's a couple of Shelby Township residents who pack something unusual when going on trips.
We keep a pretty big group of friends where the common thread is that we're all from Shelby Township, so I could totally see why this would be viewed as uncharacteristic.
When Matt Abdo and Jordan Corsetti, longtime friends, neighbors, and Shelby residents go on trips, they make sure to pack the Shelby Township flag with them. It started when they went to the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival in Tennessee and needed a way to identify where their camping tents were.
When we first made the flag, we figured, hey, we want to make something that no one's ever seen before. There's going to be Michigan flags and Michigan State flags with the Spartan symbol and Detroit flags, of course. But if I saw another Shelby Township flag, I'd be extremely surprised.
After our tents were up, we claimed our stake, and we flew it over our camp, and there it stood for 4 or 5 days.
Not only was it a good marker, but the homemade Shelby flag was also a good conversation piece with festival goers.
People were kind of surprised. They were kind of asked. They would bring up questions like, "What is that? What is that?" And then we say, "Oh, it's Shelby Township. It's a, Metro Detroit suburban town." And we'd kind of explain it, and people were blown away by that because they would be like, "Oh, I would never put my hometown, on the flag."
And just recently, Matt and Jordan went to Columbia, where of course they brought their flag to take a picture with.
When we were in Medellin, we did a trip through the mountains to a small town called Guatape, and they have a rock there. It's a big edifice. It's called El Peñón de Guatape, and it's about, I want to say 5,000 or 6,000 feet above the ground, and it was a 700-foot staircase that him and I ascended. And when we got to the top, it's considered to be one of the best views in the world, and we thought that'd be an appropriate place to take a picture with our hometown flag.
They plan to travel to more places around the world and will take the flag with them for more photo opportunities, which we can't wait to see. But no matter where they travel, they'll always remember their roots here in Shelby Township.
Something I'll say about Shelby Township is that I think uniquely is a place that people are very proud to be from, and there's a strong sense of camaraderie amongst everyone from the neighborhoods and high schools that come from there.
Shelby's a wonderful place. I've lived in other places longer than Shelby, but the camaraderie that I get in Shelby Township, there's really nothing like it.
Still ahead on Shelby this week, Hazardous Waste. We'll tell you exactly when and where you can drop off those old paint cans. And taking it to the bags, how boxing isn't just for the pros anymore. It's all to come next.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
It's been rumored for months, but now steps are being taken to build a new fire station in Shelby Township. Station number 5 would cost about $1.7 million, and it would be located on the east side of Shaner, just north of 21 Mile. But first, there's a couple of phases of planning that will have to happen.
Phase 1 is more of a schematic, more of a general print, footsteps, kind of a top view, side view, and front view. Not quite a blueprint, just a rough kind of, here's how we think it's going to look.
Phase 2 will be that blueprint phase where the look will be more detailed and costs will be laid out. The board will then get the opportunity to ask questions and figure out the equipment and manpower needed to maintain the station. This will be followed by a vote in order to proceed in the building, which could be in a couple of months. Supervisor Stathakis told Shelby TV he hopes it will all be done by the end of the year. Shelby Township is collecting hazardous waste for you. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 30th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's when you can bring your hazardous waste to the municipal building's parking lot. This includes pesticides, paint, batteries, fluorescent bulbs, and medications. And this is the first year they'll accept latex paint. Some of the things not accepted are smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, and ammunition. But for a full list, head to the township website at shelbytwp.org/recycling. If you drive through Shelby Township, you're likely to see new businesses opening up called vape shops. Vaping is advertised as an alternative to smoking and aims to help people quit. Charlie Cadotto explains how it works and why it's raising some questions.
They're advertised as a strategy to quit smoking, but vaping has come under fire for instead appealing to younger crowds. The owner of Smooth Vapes in Shelby Township says he opened to help people kick the habit, and lately, unlike some of the other shops around, he's been marketing to older smokers.
Really, our audience is geared towards the people who want to quit smoking.
Under the current state law, minors can buy e-cigarettes and vaping devices.
A lot of the whole vaping controversy revolves around the youth. This kit right here comes with 2 batteries, 2 tanks, and a free bottle of juice. The youths are going to be able to vape, and that is always going to create controversy, just like it does with smoking.
The Michigan Senate has been trying to ban minors from buying or possessing vaping devices, and a bill could come soon. But in the meantime, some stores have their own policy not to sell to anyone under 18.
I don't know how you would control that. I know at our store you have to show ID in order to buy any of our products, whether they have nicotine or not. So we do what we can to make sure that we're only serving to a certain age customer.
The owner of Smooth Vapes wants people to know vaping is nothing close to smoking cigarettes or hookah. The township has placed a moratorium on hookah lounges in the past.
It was a K2, and now it's a marijuana. And vaping, I'm sure, will be something we'll be talking about too.
The township board hasn't ruled out a possible moratorium for vape shops in the future, but at this point, nothing is on the table.
An electronic cigarette or a vaporizer, as it actually is, has nothing to do with hookah.
Reporting for Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadotto.
There's an Adopt a Road and Adopt a Pet program, but there's also one that you can take part of to protect local streams and rivers. The Clinton River Watershed has an Adopt a Stream program. Volunteers are assigned sites and teams and given all of the equipment and procedures to gather information about the stream and the wildlife as well.
The Adopt a Stream program is a great example of citizen science, where we get volunteers out there to collect data that otherwise we wouldn't be able to because of limitations with time and resources. And what it is volunteers go out to different sites, over 40 sites throughout the watershed.
The data that's collected every May and October by those volunteers is then used to assess the health of the water, which helps watershed officials make decisions regarding restoration and protection. If you'd like to get involved in Adopt a Stream, just head to our Shelby TV Facebook page for more information. It might be time to hop off the treadmill and put the weights down. A local business is showing off a different workout that will motivate you to get fit, both physically and mentally. Title Boxing in Shelby Township takes the authentic boxer and kickboxing workout and makes it something anyone can do. People of all ages are flooding in for classes at Title, which has expanded as the boxing trend becomes more popular.
So what makes a difference is our personalities of the people that are trained here. Our instructors are just top-notch, world-class, but also the members that come here and the energy they put into it. It's a culture unlike any other. We're into getting fit and not hit, so this is a non-sparring gym, but everybody working out behind me acts as if they're a boxer, and we train them as such. So we will coach them, we will motivate them, but the bulk of the work and the bulk of the experience happens right behind me on that heavy bag.
Boxing is good for the mind. It can relieve stress, anxiety, and even pent-up anger. And of course, it's good for the body. Participants can burn up to 1,000 calories in just 1 hour of boxing.
I've done a lot of boot camp classes. I've done all different types of workouts. They make it fun. It's just very addicting, and just the workout that you get is just amazing. If you don't walk out of here completely sweat, drenched, you haven't done it. I mean, from the time it starts till the time it ends, you can hear it all over the entire place. I mean, people just gasping. But it's not a bad workout, you know, gasping where you're like gasping for air. It's just you feel fantastic when you come.
And anyone can go to Title Boxing. It's family friendly, and there's no fitness or skill level needed to do it. So if you're looking for a way to spice up your workout, head over to Title on Shelby Road, just north of 25 Mile. Coming up on Shelby this week, training for a 5K, how anyone at any age can run the creek. And Crime Watch. Officer Leslie Heisler is in studio to talk about crimes happening in Shelby Township and how you can protect yourself. Stay tuned.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please.
Do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Welcome back. Crime can happen anywhere, even here in Shelby Township, but there's a way you can know about what's going on in order to know how to protect yourself. Officer Leslie Heisler is one of the ones who's in the know with everything that goes on here in Shelby Township.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure.
So you run the Crime DAR, which is that crime map.
Yes.
For Shelby Township. Tell us about that.
So Crime DAR is an online service. We get a lot of calls from people either moving into the township or they live in the township and they see the police presence in their neighborhood and they say, what's going on? And they call us. And for a long time, we couldn't answer. You know, we don't give those personal kind of answers on the phone. So this was a really good solution for us to be able to put our police runs out there so that everybody can access it in the interest of transparency. What is the police department doing? And you can kind of look up your own neighborhood and say, hey, what's going on? Why were they down the street? And we've been using it, I don't know, for about 5 years now, four and a half years.
Wow.
And had great success. And just letting people know what's going on in the neighborhood.
And there's a lot. I've looked at it quite a bit.
There's a lot.
And there's things like welfare checks, suspicious persons. So as a resident, when I'm looking at that map, what should I know about it? And should I get too concerned when I see things that are happening just down the street?
No, not at all. Every run that we go on gets classified. And I take all of those runs just from our police log and I import it into Crime DAR. And then I go through and everything has to be lumped into a group. So all of those suspicious people that you see, they're not all suspicious people. Sometimes it's somebody called with a loud noise and we go out and we try to find out where the noise came from. Or maybe there is a suspicious person in the neighborhood, but it's the cable guy. You know, but that's what all those runs are. Assault, you see all these assaults. Anytime we get a call for a family fight, it may just be an argument between a man and a woman, but we go and we make sure everybody's okay. That's classified as an assault. So the things that you see on Crime DAR that looks like, look at all this stuff happening on my neighborhood, it's just our crime runs have to be classified. It doesn't mean that they were crimes. But we do want you to know why we're down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You see a cop car, you want to know.
Exactly.
And just last month, I mean, I was looking and there were quite a few cars that had their windows shattered. Yes. In some cases, some things were stolen. In others, you know, nothing was stolen. They were just broken into. What can we do as a resident with our cars? If I have to have my laptop in my car, what can I do?
We tell people all the time, take your laptop inside, take your gun inside, take your purse inside. But sometimes you have to leave things in your car. If that is the case, put it in your trunk. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't make it accessible in the passenger compartment of your car, because if I'm a bad guy and I'm walking down the street and I see an open car, first of all. But I see a purse on a passenger seat or a laptop, that's easy pickings. Whether I have to shatter your window or just open your car door, that's easy for me. If I have to actually go into your trunk to get it, that's more work, and I've got other things to do.
Right.
So we always say, hide your stuff, make it so it's not accessible, put it in the trunk. If you have to leave it in the car, we never ever suggest that you leave your purse or your handguns or your valuables in the car.
That's good advice.
Take them inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And lastly, there was a breaking and entering at Shelby Wholesale. I know there's not a lot of information out there right now, but what can you tell us about it?
We had somebody that broke into the building over the overnight hours and took a large amount of property from Shelby Wholesale. We are working on some investigative leads. We do have some physical evidence that we're following up on. Our evidence techs and our detectives were out there all morning, most of the day actually gathering evidence. So we hope to be able to get some really good leads on that. We've also put the information out on our Facebook page so that if anybody does have information, if they saw something overnight, they can contact our detective bureau and provide that information so that we can follow up on it.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's the day that starts off the careers of all medical students. And for one Shelby Township resident, Match Day was the day her career started in pediatrics. Stephanie Campbell is a student at Oakland University's medical school. Match Day is when all of the students gather together to open up their envelopes of which residency they've been chosen for.
I matched into the University of Illinois St. Francis Medical Center. It's in Peoria, Illinois, and I'm going to be doing pediatrics there. And I was really excited when I opened the envelope and found out that was where I was going because I got a really great feeling on interview day.
Campbell is looking forward to her placement and is looking forward to the future.
I like education. It was something I was interested in doing even before medical school, so I definitely want to continue that. And I'll have a chance to do that during residency too, because teaching medical students is a big part of being a resident, so I'm excited to start taking on that role pretty soon.
Congratulations to Stephanie and all of the local medical school students. Running marathons has become a major trend, but how do you start one if you're not a runner? And if you're older and not sure if your body can take it? Shelby TV's Arthur Shank is going to try and answer all of those questions.
The upcoming 5K race at Cherry Creek Golf Course has created a sizable amount of excitement with running enthusiasts in the Metro Detroit area. In fact, some here at Shelby TV are even planning on participating in the Run the Creek event, which benefits the Special Olympics. And for some strange reason, I became intrigued with the idea of running in the event myself. But then it hit me. Maybe I should ask a few questions first. Am I healthy enough for this?
You should be physically able to do it if you're walking or running, but the general health thing that we tell people for your heart and your lungs, you should walk at least half an hour every day just for general conditioning. Usually when people start running distances and things like that, we usually tell them to slowly work their way into their workouts to do the distance they want to do. And we always tell people too they should vary their workouts. They shouldn't always do the same thing because your body will get adjusted to it. So as far as in general health, just as long as you're not short of breath, you're not having fatigue, you're not having any chest pain, quite obviously if you're not sore after your workouts, then you should be pretty good to go in regards to that. You may have to go a little bit slower than you anticipate, but you should be able to do it without any problems.
So after getting my medical clearance from my doctor, I thought I'd talk to a professional to see what to expect in my first 5K. So I talked to local running guru Bob Busquart to find out more.
Well, with you, it's a little different from me because you've already
obviously
you have an athletic background, so I know that at one point those muscle fibers were firing as if they were in the running motion. So now what I would suggest to you is we need to try to awaken those fibers and do it at a level where we feel the 5K can be comfortable, but not at a point where we're healing the day of. So, I would say for you, go out one day and just see how 1 minute feels. Mm-hmm. If 1 minute leaves you breathless, then I wouldn't say go beyond that. But kind of see where you're at. With someone that's done an exercise like this before, you don't awaken those muscles overnight. It's like maybe like a 5 or 6 day process. And then what you notice is you're kind of back in the swing of things. Not to the point where maybe you're going to do the whole 3 miles without stopping, but now you can exercise comfortably. You can do that jogging segment, and it doesn't feel like you're killing yourself.
Okay. So whether I get fatigued, short of breath, or even injured, it's all for a good cause. The Special Olympics. Plus the fact that I can always just walk the rest of the race. For Shelby this week, I'm Arthur Shank.
Football, baseball, even hockey teams are the ones that get the most attention in high school. But there's another team you may not know about, and they're national champions. Nick Buckler shows us an inside look at the world-class talent of the VEX robotics team.
It turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made.
For the students that make up the Utica Community Schools Thunder Chickens robotics team, that is the case. Over the team's 4-year history, they have racked up 31 awards from 28 tournaments, and this year has been no different.
We won one regional tournament before the state championship, and we got quite a few design awards for our outstanding design. And then at the state championship itself, we won the tournament and also received the design award for the best design there.
Winning the state championship has qualified them for the World Championships in Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm more excited to see what we're going to see because there's no next year for us. The World Championship is it. So there's really nothing to build on going into next year as we've had in the past. I'm excited to see how our robot stacks up against some of the best teams in the world.
Their journey to the Worlds wasn't an easy one. To qualify, they had to design and build a robot to compete in the Nothing But Net Challenge.
Throughout the year, we worked together to build a robot and test it to complete that goal. Like this year's goal is Nothing But Net. It's a game with foam balls that we have to pick up and we have to shoot them into these goals at each end of the field.
Whichever team shoots the most balls into the opponent's net wins. It's played like a sport with robots rather than humans. Their robot made them one of 15 teams from Michigan that will be competing at the World Championships. And to put it in perspective, there will be over 450 teams from 26 different countries that will be on display in Louisville at the end of the month.
It's been a great decision for me personally, but I've also made great friendships. The 5 guys on this team, we all consider each other best friends, you know. So we are great friends even outside of robotics. We just have a ton of fun doing what we love to do.
As for what their future holds after this season?
Obviously, robotics has played a huge part in my life, and if I get the opportunity to continue, I definitely will. Whether it be as a mentor or as a VEX U team, which is the college edition of VEX Robotics, that remains to be seen. But this has definitely made a huge impact on my life and something I'd love to continue with.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Nick Buckler.
And that's it for us here at Shelby This Week. You can watch us all the time on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. We'll leave you now with scenes from Stony Creek Metro Park. Thanks for watching.